Eberechi Wogu is giving a talk entitled Driving Fair, Brain Data in Africa, Challenges and Opportunities. Dr. Eberechi is a neuroscientist and lecturer at the Department of Anatomy at the University of Port Harcourt, Rivers State in Nigeria. Her current research projects are focused on neuroanatomical alterations in brain MRI of African patients with neurodegenerative disorders, for example, Parkinson's disease and dementia, the fair African brain data and neuroethical issues in the African neuroscience research and innovation ecosystem. I'm going to hand over to Eberechi to share her slides and kick on with her talk. I'm also feeling very vindicated that I am not the only person here with 4 million tabs open. You bring me peace.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Yes, just. Yeah.
Okay. Please, my apologies for the audio visuals and connection bandwidth issues we're experiencing here this morning. I'll just get right to the presentation. I'm Eberechi Wogu from Nigeria, University of Port Harcourt, a little city in the southern part of Nigeria. And yes,
Professor
so I'll just
Eberechi,
get right to
I'm sorry. Can you put a presentation mode, please, to see the whole slide, please?
Sorry?
Presenters. Can you put your presentation in presenters mode?
Oh, okay.
Please.
Sorry.
Maybe if you scroll at the top a little bit, there might be a slideshow button. I'm trying to compare with mine.
Can you see it now?
No, we're back to Zoom.
Can you see my
being
slide?
shared now?
Yeah, we are seeing
No.
Zoom now.
Oh,
My apologies. I'm not a proficient Google user, so I probably
Neither.
can't advise.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
perfect.
slideshow.
Great.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry.
Yes. Okay.
Beautiful.
I'll just go
Spot
right
on.
in to start unconventional. Yeah, I would like to start by showing a little bit of highlights on the contemporary understanding of neuroscience data, and then compare it with what is obtainable in Africa. So previously, neuroscience data, raw data encompasses, the data we obtain in our labs, hospitals, and all that. But in recent times, the data is not just the raw data, but the derived data, which is the processed data, and also
Oh. I think we might have lost your presentation, my friend.
Yes. Professor Eberechi, are you there?
talking about the concept of fair, it has been pretty much talked about in the previous presentations. Just to throw
Professor, we've just lost your slides, I'm afraid. We've lost your slides. Sorry. The audio is coming through okay.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe I could stop and reshare all over again, maybe.
I think that's, yeah, probably a good call.
Do you have the slides now?
No,
No.
we can
No, we do
see
not.
that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We've got audio
Sharing
coming through
all over
perfectly
again.
fine, but the screen share is not happening.
Can you see the slide now?
It is
Loading.
loading.
Perfectly.
Yep. All right, we're good.
As well. So you could agree with me that the availability of having a data that is findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable is very essential factor that drives global health research and innovation. And the more diverse and heterogeneous data sets are, the more effective research and innovation would be. And that drove us to a couple of years back. I and my team, we were excited about the concept of open science, and we started searching repositories to look for African imaging data. And we searched some global well-known repositories, and sadly we realized that we didn't see the there was missing data from Africa and of Africans, and it became kind of worrisome to us because this has so many implications. It could result to non-generalizability of decades of global research and innovation, and this could also limit adaptation and application of these research outcomes to the African population. And that shows that research has study has shown that fair data from African individuals is estimated to about less than 0.1% of the available data, and which is like a very huge 125-fold gap. Now, the big question is, why are African brain data not fair for global research? And there's no better way to answer this question than to dive right into data collection. So last 2 years ago, we embarked on a journey to collect some data and try to make this data fair. And the aim of the study we embarked on was to make the Nigerian brain MR data fair through description of brain MRI data of Nigerian patients with Parkinson's disease and dementia using BrainLife.io. And we were faced with a lot of challenges. First of all, was more the technical challenge. There were lack of technical infrastructures. The MRI scanners were very sparsely distributed within the country, Nigeria. So you could travel some distance to a city just to find just one MRI scanner, and the MRI scanner available in the entire country is 1.5 Tesla MRI, and they are all domiciled in the hospitals, especially the teaching hospitals. So the data collected are mostly clinical data. We did an investigation and we found that there was no institutional based MR scanner. So that was a bit of a challenge. So we went ahead to um, after after applying for ethical approval, we were able to collect some of these data, for those that the patients gave consent to. And there were also challenges with technical knowledge on data generation, which
I'm afraid to say we've lost your slides again and audio.
There was also issue of data curation. There was limited knowledge on that. Data storage was
Sorry,
really,
Professor,
really.
we've lost your slides again. I'm sorry, we've lost your
Oh,
slides. The audio
oh,
took a
okay.
dive and the audio's back, but the slides are not showing.
Oh dear. Okay. Let me share the slides again. Is it back?
It's coming back.
It's loading.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're back.
Okay. So I was talking
Apologies.
about the. Yeah, apologies too. I was talking about the challenges, and I mentioned the technical issues, like the lack of scanners and the magnetic strength of the scanners available. And we also did a survey study around Africa, and we found out that 3 Tesla scanners were just in Kenya and in Cape Town, South Africa. The rest of Africa has just 1.5 Tesla scanners. And then there was the issue with storage is very outdated, and then there is a problem with data sharing. We also did some interviews, asked researchers to if they make their data fair, and sadly they do not even understand the concept of fair or open science. It's not really widespread, so lack of information on fair brain data, open science, it was really a problem. And then there was also the lack of motivation to share. We noticed that some researchers tend to hold on to their data, and they are not willing to share. Then there is this issue of funding we encountered, because um, to generate large data, you need funding, and in our region, which is more like a low income country, we have limitations of funding. The university doesn't fund this kind of research because it requires quite some money. And then there was also regulatory challenges, especially the ethical with the IRBs. The concept of using human brain data for research was completely new to them, and there was no outlined guidelines on how to use it. For the purpose of my study, this study, they had to create new guidelines for ethical guidelines for this kind of research, which encompasses the data sharing and all other. Then there was also the issue, sociocultural issues, like the data we collected were Parkinson disease and dementia, and we realized that if the patients and the caregivers um, were not really willing to consent, because they do not understand, this is completely alien to them. We get questions like, what do you want to do with my brain data? So there is this issue of trust, and which we understand is because of lack of awareness, and because this kind of research hasn't been done before in the country. Then there are also social cultural issues, like in Africa, dementia is not really seen as a mental health disorder, is seen as an aging process. So most people that have dementia or Alzheimer's, they they are seen to be aging, they are seen to be undergoing the normal aging processes. So instead of going to the hospitals to get treatment, especially the aged ones, they are taken back to their home, to their community, and they are taken care of till they die. So it was difficult to get a good number of data um, on dementia. So these were some of the challenges. I summed it up to technical challenges, ethical challenges, economic challenges, and sociocultural challenges, which I've explained previously. And these challenges brought forth the ABDN, which stands for African Brain Data Network. So the African Brain Data Network is simply a network of stakeholders within Africa that work together to make African brain data findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. And we want to put the African brain out there so that the global neuroscience community could have access to it and use this data. And our mission is to advance sustainable brain research, education, and innovation in Africa through responsible collection, processing, sharing, and use of big brain data. And we have the objectives by we hope to facilitate fair brain data in Africa. We also hope to advance the use of data science, which is not currently a taught course in most African universities. The programming skills are not taught in the university, most universities, except maybe some universities in South Africa, which is considered as a more developed African country. Yes, so we hope to advance the use of data science in neuroscience through in education, research, and innovation. Last year, we started an advocacy with the National Education Board in my country to include data science as part of the curricula in Nigerian university studies. Then, because there is lack of skilled knowledge on how to acquire this data that can be usable for research and also how to analyze this data, we embarked on capacity building for African students. And that's resulted to the African Brain Data Academy. It's more like a summer school we hold every year. We were able to, it's funded by Kavli Foundation. We've obtained funding for 3 years, last year, this year, and then next year. So we hold these workshops for participants all around Africa, and we are also able to get volunteer tutors from Europe, America, and Asia. And we another objective is for equitable distribution of brain data benefits to all stakeholders in Africa, and also to address ethical, legal, and social cultural concerns in African brain data acquisition and use. So, how does ABDN tackle these challenges? The technical challenge, we engage in capacity building on imaging data analysis, data acquisition analysis, and we currently partner with several, and we are still open to partner with several professors in the global north that are willing to tutor um, participants that come for our summer schools. And we from the last year's summer school, we got so many applications all around Africa to show that many African students are very enthusiastic to learn these skills, and they because these skills are not taught in their universities, so they are willing to learn, and it's been really very progressive since then. Then the economic challenge, we tackle it by engaging our government to fund this kind of research, though we haven't been successful because our government most times is more inclined in funding entrepreneurship than academic research. Then we also try to engage, we are open to international collaboration and application for funding to gather more data for um, for research. Then the ethical challenge, we have also started engaging in sensitization workshop with the IRBs, advocacy advocating for the need to update existing ethical guidelines on this kind of data collection. Then for the socio-cultural challenges, we've also engaged in local community. We've also started local community engagements where we talk to patients, we talk to doctors, we talk to caregivers, we talk to researchers, we in local conferences and also African conferences. We'll tell them, we enlighten them about the concept of open science and the benefits of open science and how the relevance of sharing their data with the responsibly with the global community. So this was the ABDS Academy we had last year, and we were able to get about close to more than 10 faculty who signed in, who were open to help train the students. We got over 500 applications, but due to the limited funding, we could only take about 35 to 40 students. We are having another one. This was last year. We're having another one this year. This year is going to be in Kenya. I think, yeah, this year is going to be in Kenya, right about next week. So this year we've gotten more tutors that are willing, about close to 20, no, up to 20 tutors from different, from Europe and America have signed in to be part of this training. And yeah, so to talk about the impact of this training, sorry, I have to go back to the previous slides. So after the last year's training, we're able to sensitize the participants to go back to their various African countries and start up this new data collection and analysis. And in the training, they were introduced to various open source platforms that they could use for visualization of their data, pre-processing and analysis of the MRI data. And they were also taught, there was also Python training, they were introduced to FSL, I think the eBrains were also represented there, and several other communities that helped to train people. And then we're also able to publish this paper, which is the first data we've collected in ABDN. And also we were able to develop brain data generation pipeline across Africa. We were also able to establish African brain data collection hubs in about 18 African countries between last year and this year. And now these contact persons are already collecting data from different African countries, and this data will be domiciled in ABDN. One of our long-term goals is to create an African domiciled repository where this in ABDN, where this data will be made fair. But so far, the one that we've collected and published, the a labeled clinical MRI dataset of Nigerian brains, is currently available on Brain Life. It's accessible and it's easy to access. Yeah, and a lot of persons have already started using those data. And lastly, we've also been able to promote integration of data science into neuroscience curriculum. In my university now, we now have data science as a part of the mandatory university curriculum that students have to go learn. Then future directions. In the future, we hope to establish an African domicile brain data repository. We are open for more collaborations, and then we hope to also apply for funding to generate larger brain data base that encompasses not just Nigerians, but the Nigerian data, but up to 20 different African countries. So this is the African Brain Data Academy, which is starting next week in Kenya. And we have another one coming up next year, hopefully might be in Morocco. And I wish to end my presentation here. Thank you so much.